Hi, how is it going, everybody? I, me, my. How's it going, everybody? I am doing all right. I'm hanging in there. I know I didn't stream when I was supposed to during my allotted times. I'm sure YouTube will thoroughly punish me for messing with the Lord algorithm, and I mean, as much as I will say, "Daddy, give me more," when the algorithm rewards me, um, when it's spanking and punishing me and saying I'm a bad boy, uh, I think I don't care anymore. I think I'm over it. I'm kind of just frustrated with like what it wants versus what you guys want. I want to give you what you guys want. So now it's just a matter of figuring out what you guys want. And obviously, what you guys want, you'd think it would be easy to tell by comments and things. But what I've found, like for instance with Discord, I thought maybe 10-20% of my subscribers would want Discord. You know, you guys would want a Discord. I saw hundreds of comments from different people with different names, different screen names saying, "Dude, get a Discord, set up a Discord. I'll be there. Like I'll be all over that. I want that." Set up the Discord, and I'm not saying it's bad. 350 people, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with anything, honestly. But uh, out of 80,000, my whole point here is that I had a clouded opinion of how many people were telling me that there was this deep need for Discord versus out of 80,000, apparently 77,700 were kind of indifferent or didn't care or aren't around right now. But yeah, I know some of you are in the Discord and you're in the live streams, and that's why I love you because you guys are active in the community and you guys are the ones I care about the most, anyways. So there's that. But my point being is when I make content, when I spend, say, 20 hours altogether researching and then filming and then saying, no, that's not how I want to do it, and then putting together still frame images and trying to get the license and then message people, hey, can I use this picture of that fish that is a really good close up? With, you know, do I need to pay a royalty or can you just let me borrow it for this one video? You know, I'll write your name in the corner or, you know, I'll put it in the video, whatever it may be. Um, you know, it takes a little bit of time, but I want to put those resources where they make the most people happy. So, all right, guys, how are we doing? Who's in here right now? I see a Stephen P, a 2003. Hello, my friend. Good to see you, buddy. Sketty Nona, good to see you. Robert Ensminger, good to see you. Jack Barlow, Salty Bows, Fishcapades, Osariana, hello. Kent AJD, hello. Um, let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Chris in the desert. G car. What's up? Would a good 15 gallon be for? Wait, would a 15 gallon be good for Sundadeños and Bararas? Yeah, that would work fine. I've had them in things as small as a 2.5 gallon without any water flow. Don't recommend that necessarily, but those micro rasboras for half the year, they do live sometimes in things like even just, believe it or not, like a rock that has a divot that's getting a drip from the rainforest. They can be trapped in places as like that, or in like tillandsias or pitcher plants even. So it's pretty incredible. I had a friend in Arawak or Sarawak, down on the south side of Borneo, and they were sending me pictures of fish in plants. And I was like, how does that happen? And they're like, well, the water level rises to like 7 or 8 feet deep in the forest, and these flowers right now, they're only a foot or two off the ground. So as the water retreats and is slowly going away, the fish try to go to where there's deep or clear or clean or water and food. And sometimes those pitcher plants have a bunch of little bugs in them stuck around, and so the fish will get into them just like frogs and other things. And while the pitcher plant can't stick something as large as a fish, it can allow them to then eat kind of the remnant bugs and things like that in there, which is kind of cool. But long story short is those little fish live in much tighter confines and they will do okay. Is it kind? Is it humane? That's something that's a bigger issue than we could tackle just in a few moments. But that you'll have to decide. But I would say that they can be healthy, especially in a 15 gallon, even in a 10 gallon, they're more than fine. You can have 30 chili rasboras in a 10 gallon, especially if you plant it up nicely and have like wood and places for them to hide and to move around, a little bit of variety, a little bit of spice of life. It works out well. Wei Ming Liang, Wai Ming Liang, hello. D Rock, what's up? What's up? Yeah, singing. Yeah, I'm just singing. I'm singing. Listen to me sing. Bugsy Craftsworks, what's up? Is your name Bugsy like Bugsy Siegel or like you like bugs, like isopods? By the way, I have a prediction on that note. Let's put it on the scoreboard. Uh, Isopods, aquatic isopods, they're gonna blow up. They're gonna be everywhere. They're already kind of gaining popularity. Like I'm seeing the algorithm push some stuff about uh, decorative and fancy isopods or pill bugs or wood louses, whatever you want to call them. And like little pill bugs, potato bugs, sow bugs. There's names for them aplenty. But long story short, there's aquatic ones that fish like to eat, but there's some that people just like to keep on their own just because they're kind of interesting. And I've been doing some experiments with some because they showed up in my ponds this winter. And I was like, what kind of crazy antics are going on here? Why did they show up in the winter when they had all summer to show up? And I was looking, for anything new and exciting going on in my ponds. Well, it turns out I did a little bit of reading, and in the temperate part of the world, aka here, New England, here in the North Pacific Northwest, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, BC, all these places. It doesn't really freeze super hard generally, but it does start freezing this time of year. Hard enough that like the grass and the like there's dew on the morning grass, and that turns to frost for like a good month or two, maybe 3 or 4, depending on the year. And you'll get a lot of days that go down to like 27 or 28 Fahrenheit at night. And then immediately when the sun comes up, it jumps to like 50 degrees or 45 degrees. Very common. But when it's that cold, it's enough that it can frost the bugs that are just hanging out like half an inch deep underground or in a log or in the moss on a tree where they're not even in anything really. They're kind of exposed. And while moss prevents frost from forming on it, and there's a video I did on that, how moss produces alcohol, which then melts ice. Basically, it works as a de-icer. That's great and all, but the temperature is still 32 degrees. So it may not be ice, but it's still cold as heck. And the bugs then inside their membranes, their cells start to freeze, even if the plants are protected. So it's not good. So they have to find somewhere better. And they either dig deeper underground or into a deeper log, or they hop into a pond. And around the Pacific Northwest, rivers never freeze really. And creeks don't usually freeze, and if they do, it's usually for a day or two and just the top and not deep. And ponds usually don't freeze solid if they're more than, say, 2 acres in size. So it's rare to see a lake, the size of a football field or larger with ice all the way across it, especially any sort of ice that could hold like a person or anything like that. That's rare for us. It does occur once in a blue moon, but because of this, those bugs have evolved in many cases to just go embrace the cold, and they go get into that cold water, and it's highly oxygenated a lot of times compared to warm water. So compared to the atmosphere outside, it's not too bad. It's not that much less oxygen, and they're able to just hop in the water. And so that's probably why these isopods hopped into the water in my tubs. So the real question is, are these truly fully aquatic isopods, or are they semi-aquatic? They're doing something else that I want to show you that you can take a look at real quick, and then we'll take a look at my other tanks and stuff, and I'll see what's going on, see how y'all are doing in the chat. Also, hello, Cave of Wonders, Fish Tropic, Coro, good to see you. Andrew Fishman, good to see you. Let's see here. Who else is in here? Jeff Kane, always a pleasure. Empire of Dirt Aquatics. Yeah, I really like that name, Jeff. Um, Also, who else did I miss? Cosmin, hello. Angie, I said hi to you. Who else? Am I missing people? CB. Oh, snazzy haircut. Thank you. Yeah, I did get a haircut. Cut off a lot of hair, actually, a whole lot of hair. So hopefully I'm attractive for the next 6 months and I don't have to spend money again, right? But what I want to show you guys is out here. Um, I've got a couple experiments. The first one, let me move some things. The first one we've got is that letter F. Look how moldy it is. That's not frost. That is a white fuzzy mold. And the gasket did seal it all in. So we've got that nice and moldy and fuzzy. Um, so that wasn't going to work. There may be ways around it. Now, if you guys remember, this is another interesting thing. If you guys remember all the way back to, oh, what was it? Spring? So March and May, April. This is, you guys remember when I brought out the microscope and we looked at all the stuff growing in the ponds? Well, this has been sitting in my carport sealed. 2 bottles, one from an alkaline pond and one from an acidic pond. And if we look at it, there are still scuds swimming around in this thing that have, I mean, they live and die, live and die, live and die. And there's mulm that's been created in there. It looks like there's a planaria we can see in there. And the duckweed that's in here is clearly making more oxygen. There were like 4 or 5 pieces of duckweed at the beginning. Now there are, I don't know, 200 tiny pieces of duckweed. So that's kind of interesting. And then over here, this was the alkaline water, and it is all sorts of kind of nasty, and it has grown a lot. Now, the scuds, I think, have mostly died. There are a few, but all the algae, cyanobacteria, all that stuff, it has collected, and there are some little microflora and fauna, but really there's really different layers. Right at the surface, there's like 3 layers of cyano, then maybe a algae of like spirulina or something, a cyano, and then there's like more traditional green algae like eutrophication, and then there's single cell algae, and then there's diatom algae if you look carefully too. See that? Where the bottle's easy to see through versus where it's crusted over with the dark dot algae, the little dots. So it's kind of interesting, but they're just going, and I'm just letting those go with no end date or anything. We're just gonna see how long they survive like that. Okay, so the next thing I have to show you are these. So these are those isopods I just told you about, and they're all huddled together because, oh, gross, I got milky isopod water on me. but they're all huddled together because it is, I don't know, 38 degrees tonight. Yeah, it's cold enough to see your breath. And it's not even late or, anything like that. The humidity hasn't started to rise. But if you disrupt them, they break up a little bit. But what they do is they all hold on to another one, kind of like human centipede. Let's think of it a cuter example and say they basically all, unfortunately, if you see these here, they all basically get into the dog humping position on one of their pals, and then once they're in pairs doing that, they start to pair up the pairs, and then they all end up in this crazy like ball that starts getting bigger and bigger until it'll be one ball. And I counted, there's 100 of those isopods in here. And I'm not feeding them, I'm just allowing algae to grow out here and kind of watching what happens in the cold weather because they're new to the pond. And I do want to take some, culture them, put them in the aquarium and all that, and see like if my fish want to eat them. But first, I kind of wanted to gather more info, more firsthand knowledge about what it is that they, I don't know, do, how they exist, how they be. Um, all right, let me scroll down. Um, oh yeah, the sunburst diving beetles. Those are super cool. Those are a really pretty little pond critter that I have come across. Agreed, though. Also, I think that the insects and isopods and the various little creepy crawlies of the world aren't really that regulated at the moment. A lot of them, and if they spend their whole life in one media, like soil or terrestrially, then I think they're great candidates to maybe have as pets. I don't like the ones, obviously, that are like, oh, they start as a cricket sized thing and then all of a sudden they live underwater for 10 years. Like, that's not cool. You switched it up. You're playing a game on me and you're going to mess up the ecosystem somehow. That's my personal opinion. I appreciate that, AJDK. Kent, give Alex, give me some love. It will bring in others, and you guys won't be so alone. You won't be all by yourself with an elf on the shelf. Instead of 19 people liking out of this 60 watching, maybe we could get like 30. You think we could get half of y'all to just double tap on the screen? You could do it even if you're nodding out, even if you're asleep. You could just touch it with your nose twice. That's all you got to do. But I got something new here. Doopity doo. Chris Hunts, thank you, buddy. I do try very hard to get good information on shrimp. Here's some shrimp that my neighbor brought me because he is new to Neocaridina shrimp, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, look at this! Look at this color that they made." And he had red ones and yellow ones, and he was stoked that they made orange ones, I guess. Usually it's not like a paint palette where you mix red and blue and you get purple. That's just not how the genetics work. But with the red line, the red directly turned into orange, directly turned into lighter orange, and then a yellow. That's one path there. The other path was through the Neocaridina palmata rather than the Davidii species. And in Neocaridina palmata, the route goes green, orange, lighter orange, yellow, which is kind of interesting. No red in that pathway. And it starts off with green and snowball, milky white color. And that's where we get the snowballs from. Anyways, so I have something new here. I also found something that I think is kind of funny. Maybe it's cute, maybe it's derpy, but it says Aquarium Co-op, Corey's seal of approval. is that something like everybody, is that a currency in our hobby that like we're all on board with? I mean, I like Tom Bars or like I don't know who else. Maybe like one of the Rosario Lacorte when he was before he passed away earlier this year. You know, anyways, but he owns the company, so it's like it's his seal of approval on his product. I would hope so. I would hope that you approve of the thing you're selling. Anyways, I bought some of this because I have been privy to them using it in Aquarium Co-op at the actual uh, flagship store, and this stuff is just a bigger size. I'm almost positive. I need to look and double check. I think it's just a bigger size of their fry food, but I love their fry food. It is greasy, it leaves an oil all over the top of your tank, but it is great for little fish because it floats and it kind of never really sinks fully, so it allows a lot of nano fish and fish under 3 inches to feed on these tiny, tiny little flakes that are 55% protein. But it has no nutritious fortification, which really surprises me. Maybe it messed with how things float. Um, so I'm kind of curious if I could cut this with another powder like the astaxanthin or the um, one of the anthocyanins or something like that, so we could make it, or omega 3s, omega 6s, so we could make it richer. There's barely any fat in it either. But it's great for little fish that want to eat like 10 times a day, like tetras, rasboras, live beras, stuff like the pencil fish. Great for that stuff. And this is one that floats and supposedly it doesn't really sink, so that's great. But we're gonna try and find out what fish are left in my aquarium. As you know, I'm redoing pretty much the entire setup of my fish hobby. There are almost no fish left in this tank. I hate to tell you guys that. The filter, the big canister filter, no longer running. The little sponge filter that I tossed in here, simply here for aeration for these little catfish, for a bare minimum, really. And so I'm going to clean out more and more of the living stuff so I don't crash the whole thing. And then probably we're going to reset this aquarium. I think I'm going to reset the substrate and everything at some point. This is not the priority. This one is not the priority. But this one over here, I've already started tearing down too. The filter is off. We've got all the little live bears here doing their thing, shaking their thing. Shake that thing, Miss Mother. And they're just chilling. But what I've been doing is I've been taking out a lot of the cladophora algae and the floating plants because water lettuce actually can eat a ton of ammonia, a ton of nitrates, nitrites. So literally with the filter off and like not at all, there's not a lot of aeration in here, but there's also hardly any nitrates or nitrites because this has been sucking them up for so long. Now, there isn't a heavy fish load in here with my little guppy project breeding the blondes with the rainbows, but I still don't want to crash them. So now I'm kind of carefully cutting out the corkscrew valve, the Potamogeton, and we've actually cut out a whole lot of everything but moss back here. And you can see the little mono hanging out there. And basically, we're trying to get rid of all these layers of mulm. And I don't know, am I going to save this aquarium? I don't know. It does have years and years of substrate, like that is very deep. It's 6 inches deep at least in the front and 9 in the back. Uh, but it's really taking up a lot of what could be an aquascape in the future. And the new plan that I told you guys about is to put a long tank here and to take this tank here, and we're taking this tank and we're gonna put it all the way into this room. And we're going to put it with that tank, which is the exact same tank model-wise, this one. And we're going to clean this tank up too. And they're going to go side by side here while this tank goes down a level. That tank goes goodbye. That tank stays. But then we'll have the longer one there. Then we'll have a couple more little betta and shrimp spawning areas up in here. And then what will happen is we will move this whole tank area over here, and this tank is coming out right where the other tank is on the other side of the wall, where I was saying that it had such thick substrate. That's where this is going. And so as you can see in here, these may be the fish that we hang with for a while out there, but I think they're actually really pretty. They're in the thumbnail, and we've got some Kaifit Danios in here that are nice and fast. And then we've also got the Rasbora het, which are those Trigonostigma, species that is purple and orange. Just a really beautiful fish. That's as big as they're going to get. Same with these Kaifit Danios. That's as big as they're going to get. And then they're in there with some Kali Tawa rainbow fish, which those are subject to move. But the whole plan probably will be to take all of this out, and then I bought 2 big chunks of driftwood, Malaysian wood, and I'm going to put one piece here, and then there's one long curly piece that's going to run across. So basically we're going to have a big old chunk here, and then let me show you guys here. Then we're going to have this running across and that big tangle there with some nice river stones and probably a carpet with a few of the lovely crypts, the pink flamingo and pink panther crypts. Also, look at this lovely little Amano. These are from Aquatic Arts. These are the red cherry Amanos. And yeah, you can breed them if you've got saltwater tanks. I don't. I'm not going to do all that. It's a headache. It's a lot of work. But the point being, my water is not hard. And yet, look at how this guy has stayed so red. He's molted twice now. And it's still that bright of a red color. I mean, I'm really impressed by those shrimp. The lemon ones, too, and the ones that were sold as the orange, the red, the lemon, and the snowball. All are just fantastically vivid for Amanos. Super cool. I hope more people start getting into it. They are more money. They're about $10 usually, rather than the normal like $4.99 or $6.99. I mean, it kind of just depends on where you're buying them, I would assume. Here's another red shrimp though, right back there. I was just seeing if I had any of the milky ones in here. But then also the thing I'm doing here is I'm cleaning up all this moss covered rock. And this might be subject to going into another tank. I don't know yet, but I think it may go into another tank. But I'm going to keep using the little suction cup to clean, or the little, sorry guys, turkey baster to clean out all this top mulm, because I don't need it. It's not needed. I don't need that super organic soil years and years and years down the line. I'm no longer concerned with this tank lasting 15 years. I just want it to last 4 or 5, and it'll do so just fine. Same with these. When I reset these, this one probably is going to have everything stripped back, but this is the oldest substrate tied with the other one, and so I think I may actually just add some aqua soil like to there, and then I'd still have 14 inches to work with. But I kind of like these man-made, even though they're not GMO, they're selected for. But these jade tiger barbs, I think they're kind of cool. They're a little nippy, but they hold um, the Negro fasciatus danios here that can be a little like hectic. They hold them kind of like not hostage, but they hold them still. They keep them in check. And then also the checkerboard cichlids are down in here, and this little male is looking pretty, and little females, they're kind of hanging out doing their thing. So the fish in this tank, I'm kind of still stoked about when I think about it. And up here, here is another big question mark of like, well, what do I really want to do here? But I did get another beautiful black stripe cichlid. Here's one of the females uh, from the original casting crew, shall we say. And we'll see where are the other males and stuff. I'm sure they're lurking somewhere right around here. Um, but now there's 3 females, 2 males in their species in a 20 long, which I don't know. Am I invoking the wrath of? Oh no, I see a fish that passed away. That is sad. Okay, that looks like a. I think finally one of the pencilfish passed away. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing. I don't want to gross anybody out. I'm going to look at it off screen real quick. Hold on, let me get you guys not looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm going to set it in the tank down there for now. But yeah, I think that one's just an old age, which I don't have a problem with. Those pencil fish are like 5 years old. They came from the old house. So good on them. And also, we still have these guys breeding. This guy has something wrong with him, some sort of spine thing or like nutrient deficiency. Can't figure it out. All his siblings of the same age look fine. So I'm worried a little bit. Like I was thinking, is this gonna be contagious or whatever? It's not. See, yeah, here's one of his siblings looking plucky and fat. The female is looking great. This female is about to start putting on her egg weight in her belly any day now. And there's another male back in here. So I don't know. There's like 15 healthy ones. But there's the one that's unhealthy, and that always makes me worry, even if the others are all healthy. Alright, guys. Sorry, I haven't looked at the chat. I'm being very bad. Hey, Luke. Good to see you. Good to see you. Luke, you're working in the fish room. Thomas, tiger, lotus, lilies are looking good. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I try. No, I don't. I really don't try with them. They just grow. Like, see, here's one just growing, just doing its thing under here. Now this tank, if you guys recall, this is the tank that has all the little gobies in it. But I do want more tanks with gobies. I absolutely adore them. I wouldn't put them in a filterless tank, honestly. I just don't think it's the right thing to do for that kind of fish. I think it's cruel. Oh, and I've got my algae tank lights off, or my here, let's turn them on. So these are where all my hungry hippo fish get their food. The scuds. Life on the Scuds. Southern culture on the Scuds. Anybody know that band? Southern culture on the Skids. Alright. So, look at them all. They're all running from the light. Run from the light! Ah! But they should run. They should run. They should be afraid. They are going to be what's for dinner. They are the other white meat. I don't know. Are they white meat? Are they clear meat? I don't know. There's some sort of meat, I suppose. So we put all the dirty water from that tank back into the scud tanks, and the scuds help me out with the circle of life, and something else happens, and the circle's complete. So as we put it into the tank with the lowest water, you can see they're munching away at some water lettuce that kind of just dissolved, just grew old and dissolved. So all every once in a while, just churn it and look at all the scuds I have in here. And paramecium. Now, everybody asks, oh man, how bad does that smell? It doesn't smell bad at all. These tanks actually, I expect them to smell bad, and I joke about it every once in a while, but they really don't. They smell a little earthy. They smell a little bit like Brussels sprouts, I guess. If you really like sniff them and like break the surface tension of the water and stir them up, but really they don't smell any different than a normal fish tank for the most part, which is shocking to me with how gnarly they look when you've got all the paramecium and you got all these. I mean, look at you got all these little floating organisms too right here. Like all that is ideal food for brand new baby fish. And these are the Bedotia Madagascar dwarf fish, dwarf rainbow fish, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to do a list for y'all really soon of my 5 favorite miniature, or basically like under 2.5 inch is what in my head will be the cutoff, uh, rainbow fish. So you've got Radnocentris, you got these Sahulensis, you got all the pseudomagills, so like the neons, the red neons, the forktails, these neon blue and yellows. You've got the thread fins. I mean, there's actually quite a few to choose from in the small size, and people don't really think about it. And I think they're great fish. They just aren't the best for filterless tanks, which kind of brings full circle to some of the changes we're making around here, which is I want to be able to keep all fish without having to worry like, will my tanks handle that, or am I gonna have to run 2 extra air stones and get everything ready and move this around, do that, move these fish there. So hopefully it's a good change. That's what I'm hoping. People who like Father Fish, who says that like you can pretty much do any fish in a tank. If it, like he means that if you have the size when you actually talk to him, and I don't have 300 gallons to use 200 of the gallons as water treatment with plants, literally, so that I can have like Oscars or some sort of really high protein consuming fish, or even just one of these fish like a larger rainbow fish that just needs all of that room, that oxygen, all that kind of stuff to really do their best, look their best. And with these fish, I think a lot of times people will say, oh yeah, well mine survives just fine in a 40 breeder that has this or that. And I will say, yeah, I've kept them that way too. But when you do that and then you see the difference of how good they look when they're in like a 200 gallon with good filtration, lots of plants and hiding spots and like, everything that a little fish's heart could want, it's incredible to watch how they light up during the day. And like the nuances and the colors, even just feeding live fish like I'm doing right now, or feeding live bugs, live food culture, scuds and daphnia and the paramecium that they're eating right now. It is a world of difference in how bright the reds are, how colorful the yellows are in your fish, and also in how like on the ball they are. They're really like ready to I don't know what exactly they're ready to do. Sometimes they're ready to reproduce, sometimes they're ready to fight. I mean, it can go either way with if you think that's always a good thing or not. But usually, they're just more lively and more like their wild counterparts. And that is to say, if you got a wild harvest one versus a farm raised one, sometimes you can notice a difference. Well, if you treat a fish like a for-profit, slaughterhouse that's massive, industrial scale type thing going on, you're gonna get cows that are really lazy and dumb and don't live long and whatever. Just like you're gonna get fish that are really not that interesting, not that colorful, and just not as fun, not as magnificent, not as they won't have the full range of behavior, which is something that would bum me out. If I buy a fish, I really want to see it making, look at this Episto. I want to see him colored up like this at night and see him showing off for his lady, showing that he can hunt and that he spends an hour not really being good at hunting, but just circling around her to show her, look at me. And she likewise does the same thing. Yes, she is hunting, but look at how yellow she is, and look at how, we're like, the colors are not great on a live stream like this usually. So you can imagine what I'm seeing live right now. Their colors are just incredible, how lit up they are. And you really won't see that in fish that are just not stoked about life. Let's see here. Jeff Pelham, what's up? Jeff, good to see you, buddy. I was gonna say, I thought I used a picture of yours, but I realized that was Palmer Aquatics, that I used a still frame, but it said in the still frame that it was from Palmer Aquatics. Like, it said his channel in the still that I used. But for a moment I thought, oh wait, that's who I used the slimy piece of wood from to show off what spiderwood looks like the first week. And then I realized, Alex, what are you talking about? Wrong person. But either way, it's another fish tuber who I think is a good guy, and y'all might want to check out Palmer Aquatics if you haven't done so. Or, hold on, let me grab these. Come on, trying to get the last bit of these little guys. Don't want to pick up any paramecium with them. That's no fun. But, hey, Cherry Barbie, what's up? I didn't know they made a Cherry Barbie. Pelham Aquatics, another great one to go check out, too. As I just said, Palmer Aquatics, who's not here. I don't even know how I got off on that tangent other than that I used a picture in the last video of his. But, anyhow, so now we got gobies in this tank. I spend way too much time with these guys. Also the little white cheek gobies. They're a lot of fun. But everybody in this tank, it's all about personality. All these rainbow fish and all, everybody in here, all these pseudomagills, all the little gobies, it's all about their crazy, zany personalities. Under here, we've got some Indonesian, what do they call them? Dragon gobies, which are another one that I love. I've done species spotlights on them. The Schismatogobius amapluvulosus. That's a name that you can't bring home to mother, I guess. Probably because you won't be able to remember it. But Schismatogobius amapluvulosus. Bring that one home and try it on for size. So yeah, but this little guy's go, looking good. Still won't have babies for me, but looking good. Maybe when we shuffle stuff around, we'll get a change of heart, a change of pace. They did dig up the Pink Panther crypt, though, which is annoying. They've done that 3 times. I guess I should get the hint that they don't want it. Go figure, right, guys? Um, also, what else is new? Just chilling, just showing you guys some of the wild bettas. These are the betta embolus. And I don't know why they're all hiding underneath this, but they are. They're all under there, though. At least they were yesterday. They're all hiding under the Suswassertang. The Suswassertang! Yeah, there's some right now. There's another one. But they have babies periodically, as do these ones here. These guys, I'm thinking, are going to have babies again soon. The male has got his little harem of 3 true females and 1 false female. The other male, I guess, just gave up and said, I don't want to get beat up again. Just pretend I'm a lady. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, I saw Lawrence Kent and this Macrostoma Malak has a lady friend. Here she is. So finally, after a year and a half since he killed his ex, 2 exes actually, we have a new Macrostoma Malak right here for him. And she's coloring up with her weird face pattern, which is kind of cool. Hey Asya, good to see you. They're in there with a weird mix of the white cloud minnows and with live bears, swordtails, which is weird. Should probably take the swordtails out of there, quite frankly. But yeah, then I need to reset this. Probably going to reset this and finally rehome. I mean, this guy's lived for so long, I don't know how it's still alive, but it deserves a good home, as does the only thing I really want to keep in here, because there's just a ton of these large Siamese algae eaters that have outgrown their home, really. The only thing I really want to keep in here is the peacock, the spiny eel. It's a dwarf peacock eel. So, hopefully, I'll do that. Oh, there's still a hummingbird tetra in here. I didn't even know they were still in here. That's what I love, is when you realize, like, there is no way that your fish survived X, Y, or Z. Like, this guy, boy, he's... What is going on here? Is this just too cold? I gotta figure out what's going on here. There's no way that they survived something happening, you know, that occurred in the tank. And just the amount of time it's been. Like, it's been 6 years, bro. You did not live that long as a neon tetra, probably. And then all of a sudden you see like 3 neon tetras that are like mid-size, and you're like, what? Where did they come from? And you realize that they're babies. That makes you feel pretty good. And it makes you feel a little bad because you're like, I've betrayed my fish. I don't know what exists in my tanks. That's a bummer. Man, look at this red Amano again. Gosh. He's just showing off. He's just saying, I am the best. I am the best. Watch me do the cleaning. I am the best. And the other one's like, I'm kind of red. I'm a little bit orange. I put red and orange in here. And then a normal Amano, just so you can compare. This is a big one, but it's a normal one. Normal Amano. So, let's see here. Last little aquarium update. We got some babies from the Kohaku swordtail parents. This is the blue house. Our house is a really, really, really blue Malawa house. And here, with 2 cats in the yard. And Elasoma's eating all the babies. So, the Elasomas look real happy, you can tell. Because, yeah, I give them Daphnia every couple of days, but they also get to eat every one of the baby shrimp lately, which is something I would like to kind of fix if I can help it. Oh, I just saw a scud. That's something I've not seen in this tank in months. And don't want to see. Alright, you are going back over into that tank. And where'd the other one go? Right here? Where'd that scud go? Come on, Elasomas. You're supposed to be on guard duty against scuds. Not, like, you can, it's okay, Elasoma. You can eat my Malawa shrimp. There, eat it. But, you gotta be on guard duty against scuds, or you're letting me down, bro. Oh, here we go. Scud. No, not into the corner. And my turkey baster was blocked. I was fouled by my own turkey baster. Alright, let's see if we can coax this guy out of the mud. Here he goes. There we go. We got him. Yeah. Okay. So, Scud. Here you go, Scud. Have fun in the tank of no return. Ooh. That snakeskin barb got him instantly. So, there's that. Alright. So, guys, how are we doing? I'll end this thing here. This thing we call life, electric mood life, and that means forever, and that's a mighty long time. When you're feeling down and you call up that trick, you know, in Beverly Hills, you know the one, top 10, everything gonna be alright. What's going on, guys? I want to tell you a secret. But I don't have any good ones. So, you know, there's that. Koro, you understand. You understand my pain with the scuds. I love them. But sometimes I want to bring fire to their world. Look at this awesome wreath my wife made. She's not like a Martha Stewart crafty kind of person. Like, she's not like always doing the crafts. Like, but when she does them, she's like incredible. Like, I feel like that's like some professional level wheat grain thrashing and dried out. I don't know what they are. Sword ferns and ticks. I don't know what's in it. I'm gonna sit under it and just hope that I'm worthy of the ticks that are in it. No, there's no ticks in it. We don't really have those here in Washington much. But no, isn't that pretty? And it smells like, you know, evergreen, smells clean in here. So when I move that tank and I put that big old piece of wood across that long tank and it's in the living room and I can run CO2 in that, I'm hoping that that does justice to some aquascape. So hopefully soon you guys will get some new aquascape footage and some new setup, because I'm gonna do aquascapes and I'm gonna try to run some CO2 so we can grow some plants I haven't grown in probably 4 or 5 years. But with all that said, I also still want to do as much of the allowing tanks to have a full ecosystem as well. Now, I'm not going to let scuds be in a tank that's like for pristine plants. They're going to chew like Rotella wallachia or Florida ramosi or like those kind of things they would destroy at night. They would come out and they would eat all the little tender victuals, and I'm not up for that. But hopefully, you know, we'll get a happy medium, and I'm hoping that maybe the isopods, the pill bugs, the sow bugs, the potato bugs, whatever you call them, that they might actually do the trick. I don't know how much they eat the plants and things, but we're going to try it out. And the other thing we're going to try out is we're going to toss, while there's like hardly any fish in here, there's basically autosynchronous, 2 tetras, Bob the Betta, and there are 9 equus pencilfish. That's it out of everything I had in there. And so I'm going to cut back a lot of this, but I want to put shrimp in here. So Malawa shrimp grow fast, and I'm going to grow hopefully like a whole boatload of them. Like just put maybe 20 or 30 in there to start and just let it grow for the next few months or whatever. But I'm also going to have more plant material for a little while, probably through the winter, while I'm doing these changes. And I'm kind of like toying around with the idea of, do I want to sell it? Like some of it's unusual stuff or things I've created and crossed. And if so, I mean, I know a lot of you guys have expressed interest. So I'm trying to debate like the best way to do it. It's probably going to be in Discord. And I'll probably just be saying, if you want plants, check the Discord page, and I'll probably just set up a new, channel that's like plant pack, plant pack offers, and they'll be very cheap. Uh, that's what I'm wondering, Alex. Will the aquatic pill bugs eat live plants? Don't know. I've read a lot of different things, but there are something like 6,000 species in that family and very hard to identify. Like you need DNA. So it's hard to know which one's which ones I've got. And yeah, so we'll see. We'll find out. If they don't, that'll be great. Look at who I found. Look at who I found. Hi, honey. Okay, all right, we're good. You see the people? You like the people? All right, we're gonna let you chill. Yeah, I picked out a good kitty. I mean, not that I have any skill in doing so, but she's a terrible cat as far as behavior of wrecking things, but she's a very sweet kitty, a very soft kitty, and she does love both my wife and I very sweetly. So I do like the cat. She's a good one. Okay, guys, so I just thought I'd give you a warning why I wasn't streaming the last, well, this week really, and why I only have one video, um, is because uh, I have um, my foot's all bandaged up again. I have a uh, technically a secondary bacterial infection, but what do they call it when that's the fourth time? A tertiary or quaternary infection, basically, in my foot right now, and I'm supposed to keep it up. I'm on antibiotics again, which is like 1 month off, 1 month healing, another month all on them again. And it's getting really old. You don't have to tell me, oh, you shouldn't be on antibiotics that much. Yeah, I'm aware. Uh, but you gotta do what you gotta do because you don't want your leg to fall off like almost happened last time or get cut off. So guys, that's what I'm gonna try to take care of, but also keep making content for you. I'm also getting back in the groove that I was so far behind on when I was in the hospital. I lost track of all my like rabbit trails and the fact that like I usually have 5 to 10 video ideas rolling around my head that I can choose from at any time. And then I start making one and then I'll switch to another one that I'm more excited about. But the other one's like half done for later. And it's kind of when that is going on, that production style, I kind of always have something I can pull from to make 2 or 3 videos a week. But right now, I'm kind of gearing back up to have that reservoir of, ooh, this is interesting stuff, or these are interesting tidbits. And so hopefully we'll get back up to that point so that it's easier, it comes flowing out. But I'm also trying to step up, the editing and the quality of having video excerpt of the subject we're talking about specifically, also embedding little jokes, all that kind of stuff that makes a video better in theory. It's not showing in growth of channel, growth of money, things like that. So I want to know if you guys like it. Because if you don't, then I really don't know what I'm doing. But if you guys enjoy like the general content the last year and a half or so, and doing the longer style. I mean, I'm actually making shorter videos. I'm spending sometimes 4 or 5 hours cutting and editing down the videos so that there's not as much redundancy as when I just sit and talk one on one with the camera. Because a lot of times I'll say the same thing 2 or 3 different ways. I'm trying to get better at not doing that so that I use everybody's time more efficiently. But we're all learning, right? And you like the long, deep dives. I appreciate it. Thank you. Those will still keep coming because I am always interested in these topics that I can't not tell you the rabbit trail or the bunny trail of facts I found while researching. Um, I'm gonna take my look at I'm so alpha male. I'm taking 2 red pills. Oh, those taste like feet. Antibiotics taste like feet. Uh, bleh. Okay, guys. Well, just breed the macrostomas and then tell everyone how to do that. I'm working on it, okay? I've bred 5 or 6 Epistos. I'm not the best Episto breeder, I have to say. I think they appreciate species only tanks, I'm not gonna lie. And I just can't resist. I always put other stuff with them. There are like other dither fish that are helpful like right when they're breeding sometimes, or to encourage them like to spawn. But as a whole, they really are a pretty good like species only type tank. Well, guys, I appreciate. How do I know what feet taste like? I eat feet for a living, Thomas. That's how. Yeah, put that in your pipe and lick it. Um, Another thing I'm thinking about doing is an episode on these right here, which is Logonandra meboldi and all the forms it comes in. When I started YouTube 8 years ago, there were 3 versions of this, and we were stoked about the 2 new ones. Now I've counted just from ADA and Tropica and Dennerle 9 different color morphs and Silver Queen, Watermelon, Red, Reuben, Ruber. Like, what are these? Where did they come from? What does the plant need? Why is it so fidgety? How do you propagate it? I think I need to do a video on that. Even though I've covered the plant once before, it was a long time ago. Things have changed a lot. And I really love those plants. I think they're more beautiful than Bucephalandra or Bucephalandra. And they get bigger. So that's pretty cool. How do tannins affect scuds and Daphnia? Well, they like them. They eat anything that's microscopic in the water like that. As long as the pH doesn't drop so low that bacteria and archaea and algae and things doesn't live well. So anything down to about 6 pH, they can tolerate and deal with and be great. They will survive all the way down to like 3 or 4. They can hibernate in under freezing water. I mean, they're pretty incredible in these other ways. But for a meaningful, productive, like live culture that's not in some sort of hibernation or whatever, yeah, you wanna kind of keep it in the like ideally 6.5 to 7.5 range, but they will live 6 to 8.4 or 5. Anything over around 8.4 or 5, they tend to get locked in. Their exoskeletons get too thick with chitin and not with the things that are flexible, which I can't recall if it's like, I don't know, cellulose or what it is, or keratin or what it is that allows them to be a little more flexible. Like your fingernails are, they have some give to them, rather than just shattering when you push on them. But yeah, so they get stuck and die when when it's too alkaline and there's too hard of water with too much KH or GH. And they can get stuck and they can't get out of their old one. And then they get the ring of death or the line of death, just like shrimp get. And if it's too acidic, it'll wear right through their exoskeleton and they'll literally have ulcers to their inner organs and to their skeleton, through their exoskeleton into their soft tissues and muscles and things that then start eating away at that. So below 6.5 or 6, somewhere in there, that happens. I do want to encourage you guys, if you haven't been over to Aquatic Arts, they usually shut down at some point before mid-December just because they can't ethically ship fish, and there's too many things being shipped and it's too cold too many places, so a lot of people stop shipping. Moonlight Aquatics also just restocked a whole bunch of stuff, and he has gold panda loaches, which are a new species that is not even known yet, and he got it from China, and I'm gonna need to get my hands on some, but he has, I think, 30 of them, and he's selling them for some ridiculously low price because he's crazy. But if you want to get another 10% off on top of his ridiculously low prices, go to Moonlight Aquatics, use the code FISHTORY10 and you'll get 10% off on top of all his crazy rates. Also, at Aquatic Arts, just use FISHTORY15 and you'll get 15% off whatever it is they have. Even if it's already on sale in the listing when you add it to the cart, you'll get that sale and the 15. I have the only code that works that way. We're grandfathered in. So if you're treating yourself or getting someone else something for the holidays, holla at the channel, help us out, and we'll restock some tanks here, and then I can show you guys some oddball, crazy, cool fish for the near future as we do so. You guys, I always appreciate your company and your input and your questions, and you guys are the ditherfish of my world. You guys are the pair in my trio. You're my bottom fish, if you will. So thank you very kindly, and I hope everybody has a lovely evening. And hopefully I will stream when I feel up to it. That's when I'm gonna stream. Oh, right on! You got some 15% off some vampire crabs. Right on, right on, right on, right on. Yeah, well, I'm feeling pretty worn out here, guys, and my eye for some reason is all red. So probably because I rubbed it on a cat. But anyways, I'm gonna and I'm gonna Jetsons out of here, and and I will talk to y'all later, and hopefully see y'all tomorrow or the next day. Thomas Skipper, or maybe it's just Thomas. What's up, Ed? Thomas Skipper? Anybody? Moose? All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Actually, I'm just gonna turn the camera off and I'll still be standing here. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll do some Christmas giveaways coming up on some of the live streams too soon as well, and we'll do the forecast of what's going to happen, what are going to be the species you should breed if you want to make the most moolah, according to my arbitrary guessing that I've done the last 8 years in a row. So, much love, goodbye, and oh, that's super glue. I was like, what is on my finger? See you guys later. Bye. Bye, 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 baby, bye. Never been as cool to me. I never went to